Showdown Sunday is behind us. Playoff picture a little clearer. 3 teams have made it. We'll detail it on SportsCenter and on Monday Night Countdown. Coming up at 5:30 Eastern, it's Pardon the Interruption. Then at 6 Eastern, 90-minute edition of SportsCenter featuring the announcement of the PGA Tour Player of the Year and all the BCS aftermath. There'll be plenty of it. All leading up to TJ, Michael Urban Jaws, and yours truly as a guest shot on Monday Night Countdown at 7:30 Eastern. Coming up next, we go around the horn with Mad Max Kellerman.
These 4 things I know are true. As I've been saying all along, college football needs a playoff. As I've been saying all along, Peyton Manning's a great big-game quarterback. As I've been saying all along, Michael Vick is the Max Kellerman of pro football, and I'm Max Kellerman.
What, does Michael Vick smell and know nothing about sports?
From what I hear.
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Max Kellerman.
Welcome back to the show with 4 average Joes and 1 rampaging stud. You figure it out. We're talking Ray Lewis's MVP hopes, the fall of the Dallas Cowboys playoff hopes, and the Red Sox mistreatment of Nomar Garciaparra, all with our national panel, and here they are. At the Los Angeles Times, it is J.A. Adande. Welcome back, J.A.
We start bashing the BCS now?
Yes, we can. At the Denver Post, it's Woody Page.
You aren't rampaging, you're flaming.
At the Chicago Sun-Times, it's Jay Mariani.
2 words.
Yes.
Ike Abeabuchi.
Oh, you want points off the top, don't you? Oh, yes, Ike, he would have been champ. And at the Boston Globe, it's Michael Holly.
Hey, Max, thanks for sending this mixtape to me. Cool G Rap, Eric B. and Rakim, Wu-Tang, it's excellent.
Tremendous, tremendous. But you do look like a Christmas tree ornament with the suit and the braces and everything. We're the show that scores the argument, and here's how I do it with these joysticks and mute buttons. I give these guys points based on point of view, style, and information. Good answers get 2, great ones 3, and I use the mute button to penalize and direct traffic. We eliminate guys, so a one-on-one showdown determines the winner. 2 more points for Michael Holly being such a good sport. Let's make it happen.
It's the first word.
The first word is BCS, of course. USC handled their business against Oregon State and are #1 in both the AP and coaches polls. LSU is second after their critical beatdown of Georgia for the SEC championship, and mighty Oklahoma fell to 3rd in the polls after being embarrassed by K-State in the Big 12 championship game Saturday night. Still, Oklahoma goes to the title game against LSU, while USC faces #4 Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Guys, is USC getting jobbed? Around the horn to J.A. Adande in Southern California.
They're getting jobbed big time, Max. This whole thing is so fragile. I needed some sequins and a French judge. It's like the figure skating scandal all over again.
All right.
USC won their conference. LSU won their conference. They should be competing. Shouldn't that be the first criteria? You have to win your conference, and then maybe you can think about competing for a national championship. USC is great offense, great defense. Their scores actually aren't even as close as you've seen during the course of the season, and it's not their fault that Auburn and Notre Dame fell off and had bad seasons.
No, Jay.
They're getting hurt for strength of schedule.
Adande, I agree with you. They're a good team playing in a bad conference, and we got to put that on top first of all. They're not that good. The Pac-10 doesn't have a conference championship.
Not their fault.
And at the end of the day, Adande, they were looking at Hawaii to be bailed out by Hawaii. They haven't played anybody. They played Washington State, and that was the best team they beat all year, and this is all going to be moot.
That's interesting, Michael, because everyone brings up that Hawaii as a situation. Oh, look, that's going to determine something about the national champion.
You know what, Max?
But you're right. Why? They don't leave your fate in someone else's hands.
And guess what, Max? We're going to be apologizing. We're going to be apologizing to the BCS after Michigan beats USC in the Rose Bowl anyway.
Woody, go ahead.
Come on, Pink Panther. Let me tell you, the national championship always goes through Hawaii. What is that all about? If you don't win your conference, you don't belong in the national championship game. It's happened twice in the last 3 years with Nebraska, and now Oklahoma. Of course, USC got jobbed. They're #1 in both polls. Human polls. We're not talking about computers. We're talking about coaches and sports writers who know the teams best. And USC should be there along with LSU. It's what have you done for me lately? Not only sports in this show.
Maybe it shouldn't be what have you done for me.
USC didn't even have to play a conference title game. You can't say they didn't get jobbed. They didn't have to play in that kind of pressure game at the end. Look, Oklahoma had the 11th best schedule in the country. The parameters of the BCS, this whole thing stinks. But within the parameters, Kellerman, Oklahoma, better schedule, better victories. USC lost to Cal. Of the 3 one-loss teams, that's the worst loss that was incurred of the 3. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you USC got job.
Okay, wait a minute. What is the solution? Now, you can't have a playoff for the next 2 years. That's out. So what solution is there? Go ahead, Adonde, what do you think?
The strength of schedule is going to play such an important role in this. You shouldn't penalize teams just because teams have down seasons. When USC scheduled Auburn and Notre Dame, they didn't think it was going to hurt them. What you should do is take into account a 5-year period. That way, teams can be rewarded for scheduling tough programs and not penalized if they happen to have down years.
No. Jay, go ahead.
I think you have to arrange for a contingency plan for situations like this. Play one more game. I'm going to tell the people at ABC right here, you'll make $1 zillion if you played the winner of these 2 games.
Yes, that's a playoff. Woody, respond to what Adonde said.
What's lost in all of this is I love this, and all of us love this because it's going to force the BCS out of business, and it's going to force a playoff, and that's what we want, and that's why this is great.
Holly, you have any last words?
Yeah,
Thank
Max,
you.
it's so easy to bash the BCS. It's a 6-year startup program. It needs to be tweaked.
Oh.
And one thing they need to put in there, they need to factor in conference champions. If Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma's better than USC, but if Oklahoma doesn't win its conference championship,
You know,
it
once
probably
you
should be
factor
fine.
in conference champions, all these arguments go away all of a sudden. Yes, they do. Next topic. Sloppy Saturday was followed by Showdown Sunday in the NFL, and it didn't disappoint. New England won like they always do in the snow against Miami. Peyton Manning won a quasi-big one against Steve McNair, no less, to give Indy control of the AFC South. And Kansas City got the business end of Clinton Portis' 218-yard, 5-touchdown game in Denver. Oh, to have him on your fantasy team. Guys, have the Patriots emerged as the team to beat in the AFC? Around the horn to New England and Michael Holly.
They have, Max, and let me quote my favorite genius here. Look at the schedule, guys.
Yeah, right.
They're 7-0 against winning teams. They beat Denver. They beat Indianapolis. They beat Tennessee. They haven't allowed a touchdown at home since Steve McNair scored about 4 weeks ago in a 38-30 win over
Holly,
Tennessee.
you get the feeling that all these guys who just argued decided on the field or about to argue, oh, no, it shouldn't be decided on the field in the NFL?
It's hard to argue against them. They won 9 games in a row, and they've allowed 5 rushing touchdowns all year. They played Ricky Williams twice, didn't allow a touchdown to him, didn't allow a rushing touchdown to Edrin.
The problem with the Patriots are they are soft. The problems are they should have lost in Denver. They should have lost against Indianapolis.
Didn't.
Well, they didn't, but they should have. What has 2 thumbs and loves the Colts?
Yes, that's
The
true.
Colts are coming, guys. They won at Tennessee yesterday. They go on the road and win at Tennessee. They win at Jacksonville. They win at Tampa. They won at Miami. In fact, they won the Florida State Championship already. They now are going to win the National Football League
How'd they
Championship.
do against New England, Woody?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Jay.
I'm still not giving up on Kansas City. Still the best offense in the league. Come on, they're going to lose every now and then. A +19 differential on defense. They don't stop the run. I will give you that. But they have Dante Hall. New England, Holly, New England doesn't run the football well. So they're going to have to develop a running game in the playoffs to exploit what Kansas City doesn't do well. Kansas City still...
Adonde, go ahead.
You're completely wrong. When you have the 26th ranked defense, you're not going to win games in the playoffs. Sooner or later, that's going to catch up with you. I like Indianapolis, like Woody said. Peyton Manning is not making mistakes. They're not turning the ball over. Edrin James just put up 95 yards and 2 touchdowns against a tough rushing defense. They're not going to beat themselves. They're a physical team. They have 14 rushing touchdowns to New England's 8. You got to score the ball.
Woody, go ahead. Pile on.
2 important points. The Patriots in 8 games have scored 17 or less points. That's going to come back to haunt them in the playoffs. And secondly, none of these teams you've talked about want to play the Broncos, who are coming on now, or the Ravens in the playoffs.
Oh, no, yeah, Baltimore probably does scare some
laugh.
teams. Yeah, I know. You're undefeated Broncos.
beat the Broncos 2 weeks ago. The Bears beat the Broncos.
That's true. Michael, last word.
Max, I just don't understand these guys. All the teams they've mentioned, the Patriots have beaten them.
The Patriots beat them. Somehow in the BCS, decided on the field. Suddenly in the NFL, when it doesn't suit your argument, it's they should have won. They shouldn't have won. Buy or sell is next.
Coming up, Philly casserole the tuna. Are the Cowboys still a playoff threat after their stink at the Link? Blog. What does it say about Michael Vick that the Falcons won a big game the second he came back around? To the horn.
Around the Horn, brought to you by Sears. Don't just give a gift, Give the good life. Sears. Good life. Great price.
Buy or sell?
Buy or sell time, let's keep it moving. First topic. Bill Parcells and his Dallas Cowboys dropped to 8-5 after being pounded by the Eagles 36-10. In today's Philadelphia Inquirer, Stephen A. Smith writes, the Cowboys are not the team everyone was fooled into believing they are. We saw a team prodded, bullied, driven and motivated by football's preeminent taskmaster, shrink and shrivel. Buy or sell the Cowboys' playoff chances of Adonde?
I gotta sell right now. Ever since Bill Parcells got all mushy with them, they've gone soft, and they haven't lived up to his praise.
Woody?
I'm selling. I told you guys weeks ago that this team was a fraud. They've lost 3 out of 4. You look at the schedule, they're not even going to finish but 9-7, and the Packers are going to beat them out for the second playoff spot.
Jay?
No, buy. I have faith in Parcells because one of the big contenders for the wild card, Seattle, is 1-5 on the road with 2 more road games. I buy.
Michael?
I'm going to sell this, although I think the Cowboys had a great season. Parcells got everything out of this team that he was able to get, but they still got Quincy Carter, quarterback, 13-18 all year.
That's the bottom line. Next topic. You think ESPN was glad to see Michael Vick in the starting lineup against Carolina? The most dynamic athlete in sports, period, ran for 141 yards and a touch, and the Atlanta Falcons, who couldn't beat an egg all year, postponed the Panthers' division title with a 20-14 OT win. Buy or sell Michael Vick as the most valuable player to his team in the NFL, Woody?
You got to buy this big time. That was such a joy to watch last night. You feel bad for Dan Reeves, who's going to lose his job. You feel bad for Atlanta fans who watched this team fall apart. You feel bad for everybody in the country that didn't get to watch this great athlete all season.
Good. Jay?
Yeah, I'm buying here. 10-4-1 this team in his last 15 starts. 2-10 without him. The numbers say it all. You have to buy this.
That's
Thank
exactly
you for
right.
coming back.
Michael?
Absolutely, you got to buy. Very simple. The marketing department loves it, and so do his teammates. They're a different team with him on the field. Very clear.
Adonde?
I'm buying with him. They win that playoff game at Lambeau Field this year. They couldn't beat anybody. Also, look at the marketing aspect, like Mike said. 70,000 people in the seats, all those number 7 jerseys going. He is the most valuable guy in sports right now.
Yeah, and on the field, by the way, we don't yes, it's true about the marketing, but on the field, Jay, I counted 9-4-1. You might be right, it could be 10-4-1 in his last 15 games. Right, it is 10-4-1.
I like my stats better than yours.
On the field, he's the most valuable. The numbers say it, the wins and losses. It's showing up in the wins and losses. Next topic. Steve McNair toughed it out and played against the Colts Sunday. He was 22-38 with 2 touchdown passes and another one rushing. He rallied Tennessee back from a 16-point deficit in the 4th, but the Titans lost and are effectively 2 games out of the division lead. Right now, are you buying or selling Steve McNair as the front runner in the NFL MVP race, Matt?
I've got to say, I love McNair, but it's Clinton Portis. I mean, he's saving the Broncos. Plummer has been erratic. They've had internal problems. This Portis kid is unbelievable. Yep. He's the MVP.
Michael?
I'm selling this, and I love Steve McNair. I got to go with Peyton Manning. He has, despite the criticism, he has taken this team on his back, and he's going to lead them to the playoffs.
Adonde?
I'm selling. The most impressive unit to me yesterday was the Baltimore Ravens defense. Who's the heart of that? Ray Lewis. I mean, he just disrupts quarterbacks. He's intercepting passes this year as well. Ray Lewis, sorry.
We're going to be talking about him later on. Woody?
I'm selling. I can't understand Mariota. He flip-flops from one segment to the next. He's ditching me because of, I'm saying the Broncos, you don't want to play him, but now he's saying
Portis, you don't go
Portis
anywhere.
is the most valuable player in the league.
Yeah,
Let me tell you who he is. It is Peyton Manning. He leads the league in yardage. He leads the league in completions. He leads the yard in pass break.
I've never seen someone so biased. Though you have a good point. Next topic. Aging Redskins defensive end Bruce Smith finally became the NFL's career sacks leader with 199 after he tackled Giants QB Jesse Palmer for a 7-yard loss. The 40-year-old Smith, who passed Reggie White on the all-time list, has just 4 sacks this season in what has mainly been a backup role. Buy or sell Bruce Smith as the greatest sack master in NFL history. Howie?
I'm going to sell this. When we talk about great players, we say they changed the game. Well, you know, little running backs used to block linebackers until Lawrence Taylor came along. He was unstoppable. His speed, he could cover, he could do it all. Lawrence Taylor.
Adonde?
Talk about changing the game. I got to sell this and get to go with Deacon Jones. They put the head slap rule in. I'm going old school. They didn't keep sack statistics until 1982. Yep. So you're missing out. It's like Bill Russell and block shots in the NBA. You'll never know the true leader.
Woody?
I'm selling, and Jay is absolutely correct. I actually covered Deacon Jones, so I know what I'm talking about. He did have, if you go back and count them, Jay, he had more than 173 sacks, and that's when they meant something. Now they give out sacks like you're at Safeway.
Jay?
No, I'm going to sell too. Holly's right. It's got to be Lawrence Taylor. But let me ask you this, Calvin. If this guy showed up on time and he wasn't high all the time, how much better would he have been?
LT? Yeah, LT. It's like a Mickey Mantle kind of question. As great as he was, may have been even better. No Reggie White. That's surprising.
No one tell you talking sacks or sex? I mean, maybe it's just because you're sending those call goes over to the running backs.
You know, I was going to give you a bonus question, Adonde, but since you're taking shots at LT, you are out of here. Shots at LT. Of course the answer is LT. At least on this show. No, it really is LT. Come on. Out of bounds is next.
Coming up, Jamal Lewis is a holy terror. Is he the most valuable Lewis in Baltimore? Plus, the Red Sox want A-Rod. And now Nomar's wicked pissed. Should Boston just keep Garciaparra around? The horn there, guys. It's around the horn. We're after 2 rounds. Here's how they stand. Mr. Michael Holly has 32. Jay Mariotti, put your coffee down. Woody Page has 32. And J.A. Adonde simply didn't play a tough enough schedule. Right now, it's out of bounds.
It's out of bounds, but it's all inbound. First topic. Texas GM John Hart says he wants the Alex Rodriguez to Boston situation resolved by the end of this week. Meanwhile, Nomar Garciaparra sits in limbo, and his agent told the Boston Globe all the A-Rod stuff is, quote, a slap in the face. Guys, are the Red Sox hurting themselves with the handling of the A-Rod Nomar situation? Michael Holly?
Well, Max, it's certainly not a slap in the face. Nomar is in the last year of his contract. $11.5 million left on that deal. The Red Sox will try to talk deal with him. He hasn't complied with them. This is what happens in big-time business. And guess what? They got a chance to add the American League MVP. Of course they're not handling
upgrade, a big upgrade over Nomar. It's impossible to believe, but it's true. A-Rod is a big upgrade. Go ahead, Woody.
Michael, you are too close to the situation. You don't treat class-quality people like that. You wouldn't want to be treated like that. He should have been brought in from the very beginning. He's been great for this franchise and told what they were trying to do and told that they were going to try and make his situation better and even given him an extension so when he goes somewhere else, he'd be in good shape. But you don't take a guy who helped get you to the finals.
Let me talk some sense, okay? Here, it's not easy in business to move around 9-figure 2-comma contracts, Page. They take some time here. Nomar, as Holly said, is at the end of a deal. This is a major upgrade. It is worth the pain. Now, I feel bad for Nomar as much as anybody here, but these guys are making major money. Don't cry for these guys. As Holly said, Nomar had an opportunity to sign a deal in Boston. Now he's going to play elsewhere. So what?
The guy got them within an inning of being in the World Series this year.
Nomar didn't get them within the inning. That was an entire team effort. Woody, go ahead, finish up. Woody, finish up. Finish your thought.
But the job he has done for them, and as far as he got them, yes, he didn't have great playoffs, but he got them there. Okay. You do not turn on him like that. He's been good for this franchise.
The beauty of this deal is that the Red Sox don't have to deal Garciaparra for A-Rod. They can deal Ramirez and then take Garciaparra and get more stuff. Pitching a second baseman.
But that's not treating him right.
Treating your fans right. Next topic, boxing. I was ringside Saturday night for Vitaly Klitschko's 2-round destruction of Fat Kirk Johnson at Madison Square Garden. Kirk was out of shape. It was Vitaly's first fight since being stopped on cuts against heavyweight champ Lennox Lewis in a fight Klitschko was winning. He was beating Lennox Lewis. Can the Klitschko brothers, younger brother Vladimir, gold medalist, revive interest in the heavyweight division? Woody?
Oh, yeah, if there's tag team boxing. But until that happens, they're not going to. It all depends on who's in the ring with them. Okay. They can't sell boxing. If one of them got in the ring...
Okay, what about Vitaly against Lennox in a rematch, Woody?
No, I like Roy Jones Jr. against either one of them or in a tag team situation.
Okay,
they can't do it. You know, boxing, heavyweight boxing especially, needs a charismatic figure. Even Riddick Bowe was charismatic, or it needs a controversial figure like Mike Tyson. The Klitschko brothers, you just don't care about them. It's indifferent. I don't get excited.
Jay? Look, when 11,000 people show up in a snowstorm in New York for a heavyweight fight, I mean, that tells me there's still a romance out there about it. But Tyson is 37, Lewis is 38. I came up with this thing on the internet, Kellerman. Headline, heavyweight tournament would solve things.
Oh, tremendous.
It says, I was stopped in the street this week and asked if Lennox Lewis retires, how are they going to crown the next heavyweight champ? The guy proposes a heavyweight tournament.
A heavyweight-
Who would that have been?
A heavyweight tournament. Did you find that on the ESPN.com
I did.
page? Oh, tremendous.
Hey,
Jay,
Max.
what a job. Yes,
Could
Mike.
I just say that was very well written? That was a well-written article he was reading from.
It was. What do you think of that article?
I thought it was crap.
2 points for Michael Holly. Woody, you're out of here. Jay and Michael showdown next.
Coming up, Britney Spears is even better in winter, warming up sports geeks when there's snow on the ground. The Horn! I count myself among them. Look at her.
Around the Horn, brought to you by Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Showdown time. But first, Disembodied Voice.
Yes, Max.
What's good?
Oh, this BCS thing, I think it's wonderful. Kaz Matsui signed with the Mets. First thing you ought to do is fire his translator. And your boy David Wells has re-signed with the New York Yankees. Your turn.
First topic. The Baltimore Ravens are on a roll, which continued with a beatdown of the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamal Lewis ran for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Ray Lewis had 7 tackles and an interception. Which Lewis is a better MVP candidate, Jamal or Ray? 15 seconds each. Holly, go.
Look, Jamal is great, but you got to go with Ray Lewis. His talent is obvious, but the intangibles he brings to the table, that's what's getting Baltimore to where it is right now. After they lost to Miami, he told everyone they needed to be accountable. People watch films with him. He's first in the weight room. He is the soul and spirit of the Ravens.
Intangibles, I need stats. I need offensive numbers. Holly, they have a young quarterback, Anthony Wright, playing. That means what the running back does there is all the more vital. Jamal Lewis is getting it done week after week. Yesterday, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. I have nothing more to say.
Well, you're not going to get offensive stats from Ray Lewis, Jay. That's a problem. But you know, yeah, Ray Lewis is the popular pick. Holly, you might be right. I like Jay's argument, and I'm going to give it to him. Yeah, that's right. Jamal over Ray. I don't even believe it. Next topic.
I just don't like my time.
One of the storylines of K-State's destruction of Oklahoma Saturday night was Jason White's grip on the Heisman. On a night when White went 27 for 50 with 2 picks, K-State running back Darren Sproles ran for 235 to steal the show. Did Jason White's unfortunate Saturday night cost him the Heisman Trophy? 15 seconds each, man.
It better not. First of all, a lot of the votes were already in. Look, he had 40 touchdown passes and 6 INTs going into that game. He didn't have a pathetic game the other night. The rest of the team fell apart around him here. It's still a top 3 team in the country. They're playing in the national title game. And Fitzgerald slumped at the end of the year.
Mariotti, that's the point. It's still a top 3 team in the country. And we've been talking about Oklahoma all year as the best team. What do you know about Larry Fitzgerald's teammates? You don't know much, but he still has high production, and people are hating on him because he's a sophomore and he doesn't play at a big-time school. He is a
I think
great
that
player.
gets him the sympathy kind of vote there. I think Jason White did have the best overall year. Jay, there's your point. There's your sweep. You have 15 seconds.
I'm happy to report that George O'Leary got a job. Yes, today he was hired by Central Florida. That's a good thing. This man does not have to be in purgatory his entire life. He made a mistake with the resume at Notre Dame, but he needs to move on with his life and allow to prove to people that he can win in college football.
That's going to do it, folks. We're on a 23-and-a-half-hour break. See you Tuesday around the Horn. You see that? Jay quotes me, and I get it.
Around the Horn is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For up-to-the-minute sports information, log on to ESPN.com.
You got to know how to win this game. You got it.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon, and I am so ready to tell the BCS where to go. It involves a lot of heat, a lot of pain, and an old red dude with a big pitchfork.
Tony Kornheiser, wow. Bino Cook's hot tub, huh?
Another week with your silly Bino Cook obsession. People don't know Bino anymore. Give it up.
Well, they ought to know him. Get to know Bino. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the BCS breaks down, Michael Vick returns, and Bruce Smith has a few calls to make on his cell phone. Let's start with the BCS. Wilbon, you have hated the BCS for years, and I have always resisted your angry character assassination.
Ha!
It turns out you were right. I was wrong.
Yeah, baby.
Oklahoma may be the best team in the country, but they should not be playing in the national championship game. At least that's my opinion. Not after the egg they laid against Kansas State on Saturday night. The national championship game should be between USC and LSU. Wilbon, are you with me?
I don't think so. The important thing is I don't care. I care about this. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead. The BCS is going to go away as we know it. Now,
well, you have to care. The central issue here is which teams should be playing.
This position. I'm glad Southern Cal's in another game. In the wrong game. Southern Cal should be in the BCS-sanctioned Sugar Bowl. Okay. But I'm glad they're in the other game. Here's why I'm glad. Because I want this thing to be blown up.
I understand that. I understand that, and it will be blown up. But you have just tell me which team should be in the national championship game. Tell me that.
According to the BCS
No, according to you. According to you.
Southern Cal and Louisiana State, for reasons which you have articulated, we do agree on that. Don't tell me that it doesn't count more that Oklahoma got its butt spanked on national TV on Saturday night by 28 points when the other two teams lost close games. Don't want to hear it.
They lost close games months ago. They won on Saturday night. All three top teams were on display Saturday. Everybody could see them on network television. And Oklahoma lost and lost big. And the computer says it doesn't matter when you lose, and it doesn't matter how you lose.
Shouldn't be listening to a computer.
But it does. This is a simple issue of man versus machine. Are you going to believe what you saw with your own eyes, or are you going to believe what a computer tells you about strength of schedule? You can't give over your right to understand what you've seen to a computer.
The important thing here and the bottom line is no system involving computers, no system that doesn't allow people to play it out is ever going to work to satisfaction and fulfillment.
By people who have seen all the games and all the teams, USC is #1 in both polls, and now they are out of the championship game. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Let's go to the NFL.
And I like Oklahoma fine, but that's wrong.
We're going to come back to this. They're going to play for a national championship. Southern Cal win, and I hope they win. Remember the other day when the Chiefs receiver, Eddie Kennison, said of Denver, we're going to put something on their ass.
Watch your mouth.
Well, maybe Kennison needs to put an ice pack on his after that 45-27 beatdown Denver put on the Chiefs yesterday. At 11-2, Kansas City still has the best record in the NFL, but the Chiefs have lost 2 of their last 4 games, and their defense, after being trashed by Clinton Portis, is down to number 28 in the league. Tony, is the bloom off the rose in Kansas City?
Well, you can run on him. Clinton Portis went 22 for 218 and 5 TDs. So, and other teams have run on them recently. But you got to still outscore Kansas City. Kansas City's got Trent Green, goes for 397 in the air with no picks. They still have Priest Holmes. They are a formidable team on offense. And you know what? You picked weeks ago that they would lose in Denver. You said that was the game they were going to lose. This is their hated rival.
I didn't say the bloom was off the rose. I asked you if it's off the rose.
I don't think this particularly cripples them, no.
I don't think it cripples them, but here's what they have to do. Shore up that defense if they can. You cannot go into December and the playoffs being number 28 in defense. It doesn't work.
They lost to a team with real history.
Which we thought they would lose to.
The Philadelphia Eagles have now won 8 games in a row.
How many?
8.
Okay.
And their quarterback, Donovan F. McNabb, has clearly established himself. Listen to me. Clearly established himself as an MVP candidate. The New England Patriots have won 9 games in a row. Yes, well, by 9. And their quarterback, Tom Brady, has clearly established himself as an MVP candidate.
Yes, he has.
Now, I know you would never vote Brady over your boy McNabb for MVP. I know that. So I suppose you think that the Eagles right now are the best team in the NFL.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I think that New England is right there with them. But if forced today, if they played each other today, I would take Philadelphia. They are playing with an attitude. Donovan, both quarterbacks have been there, and Brady actually a step further. But Donovan McNabb, Tony, in his last 6 games, 63%, 9 touchdowns, 1 pick. He and they are on a roll, and I like the way they're playing.
I'll go further with McNabb. In his last 7 games, he is a career 56% passer. Peter King of Sports Illustrated told me this morning in his last 7 games, he's at 66%. That's a marked improvement. However, right now, the reason I think New England is better is New England has beaten better teams.
They have.
They have beaten Miami twice, Indianapolis, Dallas, Denver, Philly, somebody, Tennessee, better teams.
7-0 against teams over 500.
So right now, I would pick. Now, New England was terrific against Miami. Now, Miami has no chance of winning that game in a snowball fight. They have no chance.
Well,
but New England
they were close.
Shut them down. Held Ricky Williams. They hit the ball 26 times. He had 58 yards. I mean, they're good. At least say they're good.
No, they're potentially great. And we know they're going to play great defense playing for that coach, Bill Belichick.
Did you like the fact that I read from a list like you always do?
I didn't even scream at you either. Yeah. The most surprising victory in the league to me was Indy winning at Tennessee. Now, I know they were tied for first place in the AFC South going into the game, but the Colts had just suffered a crushing defeat at home the previous week to the Patriots. The Titans needed the game to avoid being swept by the Colts, but could not win the game anyway at home. In fact, Tony, the Colts are 6-1 on the road, which leads me to ask you, are they tough enough now playing with Tony Dungy's personality to break through and do some damage in the playoffs?
It's the same thing that we always ask about the Dallas Mavericks every single NBA segment. Are they tough enough on defense to win in the playoffs?
You can't win with offense only. It's a legit question,
Let me continue with the basketball analogy, because Peyton Manning, who is a great, great quarterback, is to the NFL what Tracy McGrady and Kevin Garnett have been to the NBA, in that he doesn't win playoff games, and they don't win playoff series. So it remains to be seen how tough they are. But every time they go out this year, they prove a little bit more that you have to consider them absolutely ready to make a run at a championship. And they are, as you pointed out, 6-1 on the road, so it shouldn't hurt them wherever they go.
Demonstrates, or at least suggests, some sort of resilience.
How about the liquored-up kicker?
That. The liquored-up kicker is perfect. So you're going to give Peyton Manning some credit for challenging this guy?
Well, wait.
Are you going to give him any?
Wait, don't we give the liquored-up kicker some credit?
But didn't he have a little impetus?
Wait, no, Peyton Manning gets all the credit for the liquored-up kicker. Unbelievable. The Baltimore Ravens completely shut down. His name is Vanderjagt, by the way. Completely shut down the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday afternoon to take a lead in the AFC North. The Ravens have always had defense. The last 3 games, they got 119 points worth of offense. Wilbon, welcome to my nightmare. Oh, God, is it time to consider that preening schmo, Brian F. Billick, for Coach of the Year?
No, I wouldn't consider him Coach of the Year. I would consider him having done a great job, and I would consider the Baltimore Ravens the team that no one in the AFC, including Kansas City, wants to play home or road.
Well, because they have a great running back in Jamal Lewis, and they have Ray Lewis on defense.
Tony,
I mean, they're very good.
They play old-fashioned, hard-nosed football, which I particularly like. On offense, they will run you over and beat you up. And on defense, they run you over and beat you up.
But if you stop them on the ground and you put the playoffs in the hands of Anthony Wright, that's still a little bit dicey, isn't it? And if you look and see who they've beaten this year, it is nobody compared to, say, who New England beat.
But it doesn't have to be.
Nobody.
It doesn't have to be, because you have to get them once. It's not a series of games they're going to play late in December and January if you go that far.
So you're picking them to win?
I'm saying they can play Kansas City in Kansas City for the Chiefs' first playoff game.
Do you think they'll beat them?
Yes, I do think. If it comes to that, Tony, don't want to play the Ravens.
Taking a break.
Don't want to play.
When we come back with Mr. Prognosticator, why is Pete Carroll taking his Sugar Bowl snub with such equanimity? I would be livid. And can the return of Michael Vick save Dan Reeves' job?
Pardon the interruption. Presented by New Smirnoff Ice Triple Black. Triple filtered for a crisp, clean bite.
We're going to skip the guest today and get back into this college football mess. Mike, did you notice how calmly Pete Carroll reacted to the news that USC was the odd team out on Sunday?
Yes.
Well, USC's AD Mike Garrett thinks that USC gets the best of all worlds. 1, it's more or less a home game for the Trojans. 2, if they beat Michigan, they will surely get a piece of the national championship on the AP ballot. And 3, they can hound the BCS by doing just that. Do you agree with that? Has USC somehow lucked out by missing the national championship game?
Well, sort of accidentally, yes. That's why Pete Carroll was so calm. Look, somebody is very smart at Southern Cal. They have to say to Pete Carroll, if he didn't already realize himself, and I'm sure he did, hey, don't trash the game we're in. Let's build up the game we're in. Let's build this baby up so that people will think that New Year's Day is the national championship.
Pete Carroll was beautiful.
Yes,
he not only was calm and reasoned, but he went out there in a USC sweatshirt to do some recruiting.
That's right.
But I believe he's lying through his teeth. I believe he's steamed beyond words, because what you want is a shot at the national championship, undisputed. Undisputed.
It's not going to be undisputed this year. Even if, let's say LSU, well, they're the #1 team. But something could happen. Would you rather play Michigan or Oklahoma? Oklahoma coming off a humiliating loss, or Michigan?
I don't know.
In your home, in a bowl, you and your peeps are used to going
I believe
to.
that Michigan is a very, very good team. I believe Oklahoma is a very, very good team. We wouldn't be talking about this if Oklahoma had won, but they didn't win.
Good deal. The Trojans are going to be the people's choice.
Yes.
People are going to say that's the national champion.
But they're only going to get the AP win, not the championship.
They get the
cut
coaches.
class bowl. They don't get the coaches.
They don't get the
coaches because the coaches are locked in by agreement to giving it to the winner of the BCS.
Bowl out to get the AP vote. The Bowl Coalition people could save face with one fairly simple move: add one more game. Create a game. Find a mega sponsor and let the winners of the Sugar and Rose Bowls play for #1. Call it the Martin Luther King Bowl and play it on his birthday. How huge would that game be? Tony, you got a problem with the modified Wilbon plan?
The Martin Luther King Bowl?
Sure, on the holiday.
Dr. King, was he a big run stuffer? Was he a rover back?
Are you going to take the Reverend Al Sharpton position that nobody should be playing that day?
You can have the ball. This sets up as a perfect national semifinals because I think the the two most deserving teams, LSU and USC, are playing at home. Okay, that would be a perfect entree for them to play another game. Now, it's not going to happen, but mythologically, it's wonderful. In the same way, remember in the old days, as it was said and written, that all black basketball teams played all white basketball teams in a barn somewhere and locked the door just to see who was better because the mores of the South at that time didn't permit it. Yep. This would be great, but it's not going to happen.
Why can't it happen?
Because who's going to make it happen?
Don King, a satchel full of money to the winner. Let's play it right here, right now. If you call the game, if you build the game, they will
Some
come.
emailer we had suggested your boy Mark Cuban would come in sprinkling $100 bills on everybody who did the game.
Does he not have the briefcase ready at all times?
He's got it all the time. The next story comes under the heading of "This must be a joke," right? Northern Illinois at 10-2, once ranked as high as number 12, doesn't go to any bowl game at all. Not even one of these schlocky.com or restaurant bowls, but Northwestern, the mighty 6-6 Wildcats, with all their private school rich kids in attendance, goes to a bowl. Go ahead, Will Vaughn. Defend your alma mater's boys.
I don't need to defend my alma mater's boys because who are we playing? We're playing a MAC school. We're playing Bowling Green in the Motor City Bowl. And what's that city?
Beirut, as you've called
Detroit. So at least we're playing a MAC school. Pick on Kansas at 6-6, or Georgia Tech at 6-6, or UCLA at 6-6. Don't pick on just Northwestern.
None of the 6-6s should be in a bowl game. How did Northern Illinois? The MAC has been so good this year. How did they get left out?
Belongs in a bowl game and a good bowl game. They have been as high as number 10 in the BCS poll. They deserve a game more than any of the 6-6
teams. You want to know the
teams.
game I want to see more than any other game? It's not going to happen.
Well, I think you said it. Miami
of Ohio versus Miami, Florida. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Miami, Florida against Florida State. I saw that already. Miami won. I don't want to see that.
Why are the people who run college football so dumb?
Because they're not creative.
They don't think of it.
You know who's creative?
They don't think of anything.
The NCAA. No, the NCAA is creative. The way they match teams.
That's
where
the
it really
men's selection committee. Is not the NCAA.
They're smart.
They
the
are
selection
smart.
committee. These people are not smart.
The Heisman Trophy is going to be awarded Saturday in New York City, and while Jason White and Larry Fitzgerald have been the front runners, folks are starting to wonder if relatively weak finales open the door for somebody else. There's a late groundswell of support for Kansas State running back Darren Sproles.
Who nobody had seen until that game.
The Sooners, and he leads the nation in rushing also, Tony. Now, I know you're not a college football guy being from New York, but the award is given in your hometown. So who you got?
What's the conference I've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 minutes?
The MAC.
A lot, right? This guy, Ben Roethlisberger, do I have that name right? Who's a junior quarterback at Miami of Ohio.
And big and strong and fairly fast.
And who else? Big-time quarterbacks have come out of that conference in the last 5 years.
Pennington, Leftwich.
Yeah, that's right. So I would vote for him because I think Jason White had a bad game and made a lasting impression with a bad game. I thought Larry Fitzgerald came up a little short as well. Now, I don't know how many ballots were mailed in 2 or 3 weeks ago. You used to vote in this thing.
I voted for 15 years. And people sent the ballots in far too early. They were always calling me on the last day saying, "Where's your ballot?" And I would say, "I'm waiting until the last game." I think most ballots are already in.
I think Jason White will win it. Yep. And he's had a great year. He's had 40 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, even with what happened the other day.
The voting should be done online exclusively. I know some of it's done online now.
Well, then I couldn't vote.
And it should only be open.
I don't know how to log on.
The voting should only open after the final game. Force people to see
is that also,
Larry Fitzgerald, by the way, is the guy.
Is that the modified Wilbon voting plan
you've heard
as
my
well?
Plan there.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the return of Michael Vick and whether New England fans were out of line in pelting Dolphin fans and players with snowballs.
Look at that. That wasn't a snowball. It's a snow brick.
Is that paint on his face or a mask?
I think it's a mask.
That's a mask.
Keeps him warm.
Enough already with college football. It's time to move on, leave the BCS behind. Toodles. How's that?
That's all right.
It's mail time, people. I will get the first.
Oh, you're reading the first one?
Here we go. I was vicking the Carolina Vic game on Sun Vic night, and I couldn't vicking Vic the Vicking Michael Vick. Is Vic that Vic? What am I doing here? Or am I just vicking Vic?
I guess what the email is trying to say is they went crazy about Vic and for Vic and of Vic
on the telecast.
In the Sunday night telecast. Right. I understand that. He's the most exciting player in the game. I feel for the Atlanta Falcons, who might be winning the NFC South if Michael Vick had been healthy all year.
Who's the unluckiest guy in the NFL?
Dan Reeves.
That's right. Because he's going to be fired, right?
He's going to lose his job.
And he would not lose his job because they would have won 10, maybe 12 with Michael Vick, because he is the most exciting guy in the league. Do you know if they win the last 4 with him, I'd vote for him for MVP. Because it would prove how important he was.
We already knew how important he was.
Wow.
Mail
He's the best. I mean, just to watch him.
It's fabulous.
Sadly, I fell asleep.
Do you think Deacon Jones would have celebrated his sack record the same way Bruce Smith did on his cell phone?
Look, I know you love Bruce Smith, and you've loved him for years, and I know he's a great player and going to the Hall of Fame. But what he has done over the last couple of months, complaining twice this year on a losing team that he wasn't getting enough playing time, he wanted the sack record.
He did.
He complained to the owner, and now he got it, and they kept him around because they had minted coins and they had prepared T-shirts.
He's not a marketing executive. This is not his fault.
He's too great to go out this way.
Tony, so is Emmitt Smith. So is Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice can still play.
Well, but you know what? Great players want to play. You have to cut the uniforms off them. They want to play. They want to play every down. That's how they got to be great players.
Bruce Smith said none of this was about being selfish. But after the game yesterday, he said, now that we've passed this, now we can move forward as a team. For what, the last 3?
I'd rather watch Bruce Smith or the Redskins the way they played the last 6 weeks.
What does one have to do with the other?
Come on, it's not like the Redskins going to be in the playoff contention.
Pelting the Dolphin players and other fans with snowballs in New England was just a little fun in the snow, right? If there were that many snowballs coming out of the stands in New York or Philly, especially Philly, Will Bond would be screaming for a week.
Yeah, well, Will Bond ought to be screaming at the week at this dopey emailer. Don't anticipate what I'm going to say, you jerk. Now,
are you stuttering? Are you stammering?
No, I'm not. And I would rip the people in New England who threw snowballs and hit either fans or threw them. Look, you can't have that. And those people should be led out of the stadium and perhaps put in handcuffs. You can put somebody's eye out.
Prosecute to the full extent of the law.
Right.
A few years ago in Giant Stadium, they were throwing ice balls at people. They identified them by pictures in the newspapers and network TV video, and they went after them. And this should happen in New England as well.
It should always happen in any stadium that it does happen.
Ice balls and take their eyes out to the full extent of the law.
Last one. With everybody in Boston, okay, here we go again with this baseball hot stove junk, obsessed about landing A-Rod, wouldn't you be feeling slightly underappreciated if you were, say, Nomar?
He is feeling underappreciated. He said today that he had never said to the Red Sox that he wanted to leave Boston. He said that he and his wife had bought a home in Boston. I'll tell you what, I agree with him in this. On the other hand, if the reports are true that the Red Sox tried to give him an extension and he rebuffed them, then he doesn't have a leg to stand on.
He's taking the high road. He did not say, you know, I'm getting no respect. He said, my heart and my first option have always been with the Red Sox, and it hasn't strayed from that. Taking the high road.
He is a Hall of Fame shortstop. So is A-Rod. Would you take one over the other or keep them both?
I get them both and say, A-Rod, you're coming in. He's the incumbent. You can work it out. Otherwise, we're putting you at third base.
If they do that, if they pay that kind of money for Nomar and A-Rod, then they are the evil empire. Time for a break. Don't go anywhere because we still got Will Bond's Monday night prediction. And has Tracy McGrady's star fallen back below his cousin Vince Carter's?
Wouldn't you like to see them on the same side of the infield back-to-back in the order?
Oh! Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter?
No. Nomar and A-Rod.
Oh.
Be great to watch.
Pardon the interruption. Presented by New Smirnoff Ice Triple Black. Triple filtered for a crisp, clean bite.
Happy time, people. Happy 36th birthday to Jeff George. Not in the NFL this year. He was the #1 overall pick in 1990 by the Colts. Never lived up to expectations.
Your boy.
Got a reputation as a selfish malcontent. I'll say this. He's got the greatest arm I've ever seen.
Great arm. What did it matter? Talk about unreached potential. Right. And you called Bruce Smith selfish? What about this guy?
Oh, selfish. Ridiculously selfish.
Right.
I said so. Don't you listen to the show?
I want you to say
Happy
it again.
anniversary, Eric Crouch. On this day 2 years ago, you won the Heisman Trophy. One of 3 players ever to pass for 4,000 yards, run for 3,000 while in college. Never played in the NFL, either as a quarterback or wide receiver, which he attempted to do with the Rams.
He has so much talent. He could have played other sports.
He is a great athlete.
Yes, he is.
Great athlete. Happy trails, George O'Leary. He'll be leaving the Minnesota Vikings to take over the head coaching job at Central Florida. Talk about irony. Tomorrow will be the 2-year anniversary that O'Leary was hired by Notre Dame, only to leave 5 days later after the academic fraud on his resume became public knowledge.
Do you think this is a good move for George O'Leary? Because I wonder. I'm not so certain.
Yes, I do, to get back into college coaching.
That's where he wants to be.
Is it a good move for Central Florida? Are they going to be happy
with it? You better thank Tice. You better thank Mike Tice.
Who was his player in high school. Yes. Time to find out what we messed up, Stat Boy.
You guys said the only reason to watch football last night was for Viking Vic. Well, the Panthers could have clinched the division as well, so that was one reason. And then, Tony, the Ravens haven't beat anybody, said this year in this winning.
I didn't say they haven't beat anybody. I said they haven't beat a lot of good teams.
Good. Michael said you don't have to beat good teams. I think you do. It's a little thing I like to call the playoffs.
Got to beat some good teams. They've beaten a few, but they've had a pretty easy schedule.
Just get there.
We're running out of show. You ready to go to the big finish?
Get to it.
Here we go. Tim Duncan and David Robinson are Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. Is that okay with you?
It's more than okay. It's a great selection.
You know what?
What?
It is.
It's a fabulous selection. I'm happy for both of them, particularly David Robinson. The Magic go for 20 losses in a row tonight against Phoenix. Has T-Mac start falling back below Vince Carter's?
It's falling below Nell Carter's. He's off the board at the moment.
Not right.
Rocky 6, green-lighted. Are you excited?
No, I stopped at Rocky 3. I'm not going back. Be like Roberto Duran, 80 years old, fighting. Florida is the new #1 team in college hoops, but for how long, Tony?
This happened recently. They were there for 1 week. Like, it's the next game they lost, and the next week when they could have been voted out, they were voted out.
Can Maryland beat them?
No. And you don't even think so.
Gary Williams,
no. Monday Night Football, Rams and Browns. Who do you like?
You know, I like Cleveland outdoors, cold, 29 degrees, but I'm going to go with the Rams.
I think March, your boy. We're out of time. Try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow. Sports Center is next. Can the BCS really deliver a true national champion? Dan and the gang will break it down.
Didn't we...